What is up? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Again, another episode of Motor Time with the Motor Misfits crew. As always, I am Dan, and I am joined with my main man, too cool for school, Craig. What's up, Craig?
Heck yeah, man.
Your
Always great
your
to be here
future's
on
bright.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Your future's bright today.
Well, with daylight savings time and everything, like it's still sunlight
It's
out. So
weird. It's super weird. It's super. I
yeah,
mean, usually it's pitch black. We're freezing, or what's off, whatever. I'm keeping it PG here, but yeah, it's great with it. I'm still getting used to the time change a little bit. Didn't want to get up this morning, just because I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning to change my clocks on
oh
Sunday.
well, yeah. I stayed up till
So
2:30 my time, which is 3:30 your time,
no, 1:30 my
or
time.
1:30 your time, whatever. You know.
That's right.
So
So, but what else has been going on? Anything fun and exciting happen in the Acres garage there?
I mean, it's always great. The weather's been nice. Last week it was in the 60s every day, so I was able to get out on the bike and ride. Just great. Looking forward to when it's going to be 60 every day, and you don't have to worry about, hey, it's 60 this week and it's 30 the next week.
For
So
sure, for sure. Yeah, I was able to get out on my bike a little bit, and man, I missed it. It was the first ride of the year, so and it's not the
hate it.
pull it out of the
So
garage and pull it back in.
so the real question: did you go through all the safety checks? We talked about them. Did you go through all of them before you jumped on it, or did you just jump on and take off?
I no, I did check. The only one thing is I think my tires are a little bit low. I didn't have a tire gauge, but I gave them the old thump thump. I took
Yeah.
a 2x4 and just kind of went thump thump, and they were okay. The one thing I did notice is I think we gotta look at the air suspension a little bit. I was losing a little bit of air, which is fine. That reminds me, I got to go downstairs to make sure I decompress that, um, because but I left it open. Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, it rode out great, and I'm so ready for this riding season, and it needs a
Oh
bath.
yeah,
But
for sure.
other than that, and I still have to get it in for an oil change down south. So
Yeah,
that's one
yeah.
thing I
There's
got
a
to do
spot.
this. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks that I can come down there. Maybe I'll bring that down with me, so that we can get that. Not saying that there aren't other bikes that I could ride,
Yeah,
um,
there's only
and the
only a few in the
possibility
garage.
of and the possibility of bringing the. Well, I don't know if we want to spoil that, but I know that we were talking about doing some content on a three wheel
Yeah,
item,
yeah.
which
So that'd be cool.
uh,
I don't have a whole lot of experience, working on three wheeled stuff. But I think it'd be cool to get into one and see kind of what it's like, what's the same with a two wheel and what's different. So I think that'd be cool.
so it's really weird, and I don't know if you knew this or not. You probably did because you have a lot of knowledge, not in a bad way. But the reverse gear on a
Is the
Harley
starter?
is a
Yeah.
starter flipped.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy to think
Yeah.
about it? Like, okay, the
Now the real
bike's
question
probably
is,
what.
do you know who started that?
I don't. I don't. That
It
could be
it
a good Jeopardy question.
it is a Honda. The Honda Goldwings started that. So
Really?
they figured out that, hey, if you use the starter and you flip it, it'll work as a reverse gear. Now you can't go very fast with it, but the Honda Goldwings were the first ones that had that reverse gear on them.
I got you. I got you. Well, we can, I guess, spill the beans. So, Craig, as you know, my father, he has I want to say it's a 2012, 2013. No, it may be older than that. It's not the new style, but it's a tri glide. and it is like got every light known to man on it. It lights up red, white, and blue. I call it Grandpa because my dad was able to purchase it with a little bit help from my grandparents when they passed away. So, but my dad, who has he has his trike license, does not have an M license. In Illinois, you can get a three-wheel license or an M license, but tell me how messed up this is. I took the class with them. It was through one of the colleges up here, and they gave me my three-wheel endorsement. If I went to the DMV and gave them that, my M license would go away, and I can only ride a three-wheeler.
Yeah.
So tell me how much crazy that is. But and they had us on Can-Ams. That's how
Right.
we
Which are opposite of what this one is, because this is one in the
yeah,
front and two in the back, where a Can-Am is
exactly.
two in the front, one in the back.
Exactly. So, but anyways, it's been sitting for a little bit. There needs some oil change and some stuff gone through and whatnot, but that's gonna probably come down sooner than later. I just hope that it can get started so that I can put it up on the trailer. Because if not, I'm gonna tell my dad I have no clue how we're gonna get it up there because that thing is one heavy,
You're
heavy,
going to be
heavy
winching it.
piece. Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing, and then we'll go on to the next little thing. If you've never ridden a trike, your thighs and your calves are gonna hurt because you think you have to lean with the
Lean
bike.
and you
The
don't.
bike don't lean. You don't.
Yeah.
It's all here. But the other thing is up here, and I don't know down by you as much, but we have a lot of ruts from semis. If
Yeah.
you get caught in one of those bad boys, you got to hold on, man. I'm telling you,
It's like a
you
roller
got to
coaster.
hold on. Oh, it is. But I will say it's. I could see why people when they don't, they can't safely hold up the bike. I can see why they get the trike. I mean, it does have a good amount of power still, and a lot of storage. If you were planning on going on
Yeah.
like a long road trip and whatnot, you just got to be careful because sometimes if you hit a curb, not paying attention, the tweaking of the actual back end will kick open your trunk.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so as you can see, there's collections of motorcycles, throughout the family, your
Yeah.
family, and whatnot, and that brings in a good kind of segue into our next thing. I mean, we're talking, a lot of people have a lot of collections. A lot of things right now are big and hot. You know, when I was younger, I was really, really big into collecting baseball cards. I collect
Yep.
baseball and football cards. And then throughout, growing up and as I got into my like teens and my 20s, I collected a lot of autographs. I would go to a lot of baseball signings. I'm a big Cubs fan, as you've probably seen in the pictures or the videos. But I would go to a lot of, autographs and stuff like that. Um, but I think the one thing that I've been collecting now, majorly, I don't know if that's the word, majorly, um, but is Funko Pops. You know that I collect,
Yep.
which Funko Pops are so fun because you can give them as a gift, and there's a Funko out there for everybody. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, you got me one.
what? Yep, I got you the Batman or Joker.
Batman. Batman.
Batman. Because we talked
Yep.
about when people that know me, I like to ask a lot of not a questions like nosy questions, but like some off the wall questions. I'll be like, "Oh, Craig, what's your favorite Batman movie?" Like just
Oh, it's the first one.
or exactly,
The
and
original Batman.
or what's your favorite food or whatever. And these are just knowledge, just to keep a conversation because sometimes you may go down a rabbit hole and it turns into a 2 hour conversation talking about Batman, and then we end up talking about freaking Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix in the
Yeah.
new Joker movie. So,
Yep.
but I mean, now Craig, growing up, what was something that you collected?
So growing up, I like you collected some baseball cards here and there. I did. I really don't think I got into a big collection of anything until I was, later on in life. Then I started kind of collecting a little bit of stuff here and there and didn't realize it was a collection until, then you're like, oh wow, I've got a ton of that, and that's how my collections
Right.
kind of grew. But one that I've kind of kicked over to recently, just in the recent past, is tools. I had tools growing up, and I had tools, all the way up until, the past 3 or 4 months. But I decided, I work on a lot of stuff. I work on, everybody's bikes. I work on, cars. I work on lots of different stuff, mowers, weed eaters, everything. And I decided, hey, I need a good set of tools. So I started looking at the stuff that I had collected, and I was missing, a 1/2 inch wrench or a 3/4,
10
socket.
millimeter socket.
Funny story. Right here, our buddy Cliff bought me these. These are all 10 millimeter sockets. So you got small one, you got an impact, you got a wobble, medium, impact medium, shorts, more, deeps, all of them, 10 millimeters. So when you lose one, I got it, man. I got them.
You just make sure you know where they're at. But yeah, I will say, I've known you for quite some time now, and I know that when we would go down to the garage and we'd work on something, I feel that your tools, you had a lot of them, but there wasn't really much organization.
Yeah, there was no organization.
Still take that in a bad way.
No, I'm with you, man. There's a wagon over there that I used to build my deck. Like, I threw tools in it, and it has become the catch-all of my tools. Like, there's just tools in this wagon over there. And I've got a nice Craftsman tool case over there. But recently, I just went and bought this, and it has all of my tools in it that I need to work on just about anything. I can do an oil change from this. I can do, handlebars on a motorcycle. I fixed the mini bike yesterday with stuff straight out of this.
I saw that.
So, I started collecting tools, when I was probably 15, 16. But I've added to the collection throughout the years, and now it's become something that not only is a collection, but it's also useful. Like, I use it all the time. Like, I come out and grab tools out of that all the time.
Right. And one thing that I'm sure you have a problem, and I'm sure you had to talk with all your kids, don't touch your tools, and if you do, put it back where you found it. Because I was the biggest culprit of that. I would grab tools, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I would just, I'll put them on the workbench and let my dad or my stepdad put them away,
So
or
everything.
I remember I would leave my dad's tools out on the balcony, and it rained, and it was an old metal Craftsman toolbox,
and it rusted.
Stuff got rusted and nasty. And, so
everything in here has a place.
That's a beautiful toolbox.
Everything in here has a place, and if something's missing, I can tell you right off the bat what it is, what's missing, where it's supposed to be, and where in the world where is it? Like, I know right now what it is.
Right.
So everything.
That's the nice part about being organized, because you know where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, and so that's one collection that I've got. My tools, and I use those all the time. It's something that I use a ton of. My other collection is something that a lot of people who ride have a bunch of, and you don't realize you have a bunch of it until you actually start looking at them. And you're like, oh wow, I've got a ton of those. They're helmets.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one helmet. This was my wife's helmet, and then recently my kids have started using it. But if I look up, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 helmets hanging right above me. So I collect.
Jeez.
I collect helmets, and it's funny because I'm like, oh, that'll be great, and I'll use that a bunch, and I wear it like twice, and I'm like, nope, I don't like that, and then I'm like, so then I go buy a new one, and I'm like, oh, I'll wear that. Nope. Wear it 3 times. Nope. So literally, out of all of them, I probably have 2 that I wear. I've got my baseball style one, with the bill on it that I wear, and then I've got my orange modular helmet. And those are the 2 that I wear. And there's another. They're probably half and half. Half of them are mine, and half of them are my wife's. But I'm going to say that there's probably another 6 up there that I'm never going to wear. So
Right.
it's one of those that it's just one of those that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use that, and I don't.
Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, we're all creatures of habit of that, and that's how collections and clutter or hoarding, happens. We'll be like, oh yeah, we'll keep that. I'll wear that later, or we'll have the
And
clothes,
you
and we'll be like,
don't.
yeah, I'll wear that, and you never wear it, and then you'll get like, and that's how, and I say this because your other collection that you haven't mentioned, and if anybody has been watching these videos,
Yeah.
there's two things that you and I haven't really talked about. Is
Yep.
one your Dixon fetish. That's Dixon flannel, Dixxon flannel.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and with me is my hats.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like I
So
probably have no joke 300 fitted
yeah.
new era, hats. And you and I both we used to collect Dixons, and I have a collection, not as extensive as yours.
Yeah.
And I went more the T-shirt route and the hoodie route, where you went more the flannel. You still got T-shirts.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Dixon fan. This is actually a Dixon that I have on, and they are a company out of Arizona. They have other stores kind of around the world, but they release flannels, and
Actually, they
they're
only have
diff-
two. They only have two stores. There's one in Sturgis, and there's one in Arizona.
Yeah, but don't they have one in like Australia and Canada?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure
I
they
think they've
do,
got
but
so
two that I
maybe
know.
four, maybe two. Who knows? But anyway, they release flannels and T-shirts and hoodies. And the neat thing about them is when they release them, they only make so many. So once they're gone, they're gone. So like this one, this is a grunt style Dixon, um, flannel.
Mind you, grunt style is like 5-10 minutes from
Yeah,
where I'm at. So,
yeah. So they do collabs. They collab with other companies. They've done everything from Jack Daniels to autism awareness, and they collab and
Metallica.
yeah, and they sell them and they drop them. Sometimes it's on a Monday, sometimes it's on a Thursday, sometimes it's on a Saturday. So you just kind of have to watch and you kind of have to know what's coming out. And then once they're gone, they're gone. You can't get them anymore. And my collection started with Dan actually going and picking up the very first Dixon I got was a G, it's called the G. They all have names. Was the G flannel, and it came from a Harley up by him, and he went and got it for me, and my wife gave it to me as a Christmas present, and it has exploded since then. I probably have, I would say probably 200 flannels, and I've got probably another 10 or 15 in bags that I haven't even opened, and I've got
It's gonna be
probably
higher. It's higher than that. You have
I've
more
got
than
probably
you probably have
15
every
or 20
because
party shirts.
what happens is, and you do it the right way, is you when they run their sale and their flash sale and they want to clear out, and I say this in a nice way, you're in a size that usually they have a
Yeah.
plethora of the
Yep.
added, like the bigger sizes are always sold out because they make
Yep.
less. You know what I mean? So you're able to get 20 t-shirts for less than $100
Yep.
because it's a sale. Or I know your wife, she collects the Dixon blankets,
Blankets. Yep.
which are nice. Don't get me wrong. Just make sure you don't lay them down on leaves because you'll never get any of those leaves out of there. So they're like the top part's Sherpa and the back part's a flannel. They're
A
very
flannel.
very
Yeah.
warm. They're good for like curling up on the couch and relaxing. I mean, Dixon is an awesome brand. Danny Dixon, who started it, I mean, literally, he's an
Yeah.
avid bike rider, outdoor sports kind of guy. But yeah, that's definitely one of the collections, and we actually got introduced from somebody else
Yeah.
for getting into it and whatnot. And
And they give
as we
stickers.
progress, oh yeah,
So that's what a bunch of those are. Those are all Dixon stickers. So for each flannel you
and
get, the tag is a sticker.
yeah, it's really good. They got great promotions, great marketing. Um, it's just like this. As I'm pointing over here, this is another brand that I've been really liking too. Um, it's Dirty Hands, Clean Money. It's called the Troll Company. They're a really cool brand, kind of similar thing. And it was just
Yeah.
like with this company, I just saw it on Facebook. It was an ad. I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, I like their hoodies. And they have a hoodie that's called a Sherpa, and it's got finger holes for when you ride. But then when you flip it up, it's got a mask that comes over that's a neoprene mask, so it gets the air out of
Right.
your face. So it's a good motorcycle riding one. But you know, collections can be as simple as pens or matchbooks. Like when
Well,
our
what?
parents
So
collected
so
matchbooks or things like
we
that.
we have a collection of the same thing, and we haven't even talked about it. And it's one that we get each other all the time, and it's simple. They're poker
Chips.
chips. They're poker chips from Harleys. Every Harley out there, well, not every, but most Harleys out there have a poker chip, and they're between $2 and $5 at the dealers. You go in, you grab one, and you give them to your friends. And I've got, I don't know, 400 or 500 different dealer poker chips. Pretty easy. Dan, you're probably in the same boat, probably right around there.
I probably have about the same amount, but you have more stateside. I have more. Like
Yeah.
I have all of Australia. Like all of Australia, I have all of the chips. Part of New Zealand, Germany, Italy. Places.
Yeah.
That it was easy for us to link up with some of the people because we were in a different club at that time. That they were like, hey, you want to trade or whatever. And the other thing that we don't talk about too, and it's for me. I mean, I have a whole big box of them, but challenge coins. That's
Yeah. Yep.
another collection, but there's all sorts of things that you can collect, and it's all about what makes you happy. And in the end of it, that's the thing. There's nothing like opening up, and I'll use you an example. Nothing like opening up a brand new Dixon, taking the tag out, checking it out, looking at the thing, seeing if your Dixon or your grunt style tag is upside down because sometimes that
Yep.
happens or whatnot. Or when you get a new hat, you'll see on all my hats I bend them up. Just that's just the style that I wear. So like I'll get a flat bill, I want to get it right, and you'll see me adjusting and whatnot. But a collection is something that just makes you happy, and it's something that you can be proud of. Just like you could say motorcycles are a collection of yours.
Oh yeah.
Motorcycles are a collection of mine. You got two, but there's six in your garage right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That you
One, two, three,
literally
four,
could
five, six. Yeah. There's literally six in here.
you could literally hop on any one of those and just ride,
Yep.
just and not have a problem.
Funny story.
So
I rode three different ones yesterday.
that's funny.
I
Did
rode
you
three
ride
different bikes
yours,
yesterday.
Cliff's, and Mistress?
Now, I rode mine. I rode the Mistress, and I rode the mini bike because I got it running.
Okay, you mean it's no longer parked? Is it parked inside now?
Yeah, it's parked inside. It's got its own parking spot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that Allie's bike, or is Dan actually going to start riding it?
It's kind of up for grabs. I think. There's been some
I think
additions. There's been some additions. There's been some subtractions. It's looking pretty sweet. Maybe in the next vlog, it'll show up.
ooh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Well, you know what? I mean, that's an actual really really cool. The mini bike is really cool. I know that we have a friend of ours that has what is it called?
Pocket
The
rocket.
monkey?
Oh yeah, a monkey. But then another friend has a pocket rocket too, which is like a even smaller version than the mini bike.
I don't know. I've been looking at the Groms, man. I think
Yeah.
those could be cool, but I picture
I
a
I think you got to have a
350
friend.
pound
I
dude.
think you got to have two of them.
You- I'm just saying, me riding around like it would look like those guys in the parade that wear the little
Yeah.
fez hats, the little
Yeah. The Shiners or Shriners,
the
Shriners.
Shriners,
Yeah.
Shriners.
Shriners. But yeah, it'd be super cool. But you don't want to ride it by yourself. You got to have a friend to do it with you. So you got to
It's
have
kind of
two.
like a moped.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
So
but that's a good segue. I think we kind of touch base on the collections, and don't be afraid to collect something and start a new
yeah.
collection. There's all sorts of things that you can collect out there or not collect, and your collection and your tastes are going to change, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. So Um, I'll leave off the stuff today. You know,
Okay.
um, you know, over the with daylight savings time and with the sun being out later, don't um, don't call it an early night. Get outside and just get some air. Take 5-10 minutes and just let the sun hit you in your face. Even if it's doom and gloom or you had a crappy day at work or a crappy work week, just go outside, take 5-10 minutes and just let the sun beat on your face and allow you to kind of get that positive energy. When the sun's out, you don't hardly see anybody with a negative
Yeah.
attitude or whatever. For those that some of the people that listen don't necessarily ride a motorcycle or they're part of something. I always laugh, and I'll let you kind of do your thing at this, but everybody asks, well, why do you ride a motorcycle? And
Why
I always
not?
say to them, I
Why
say,
not?
do you ever see a frown on a dog's face when he has its head out the window? You
No.
don't, you know. So get outside. Like now that the weather's breaking, get outside, do something. Whether it be go for a walk, take the dog for a walk. Just sit out in the stoop and just sit there. Put your phone down and just take in the scenery. That's what I'll leave for today.
Nailed it. Nailed it. I couldn't say it better myself. So with that, I think
So
we're going to cut out and we will see you guys next Tuesday.